everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. I am Nana Tufo Boateng. Welcome to another exciting episode. Today there's a lot to discuss on the show, from the judicial front, the political front, the economy, the various sectors. The transport fares have been reduced 15%. Fuel prices are coming down. CD is gaining some strength. Positives, good news for the country. But have you noticed the ongoing debate between the NPP and the NDC on who takes credibility for the seeming economic recovery? I think about it and I'm like, So the thing is, it looks positive, right? It's good for the country if we're making some economic recovery. If the CD appreciates against the dollar, the CD gains strength, it's good for us. And so we should be thinking about stabilizing it. We should be thinking about consolidating the gains we have made regarding the economy. Not a debate between which party takes credit for the gains that we are making. But then I think about it and I'm asking, so in the same spirit of competing for the credit, right, could we come together, both political parties, NPP, NDC, and put our heads together on the back of the good things that we are both claiming that we have done? Okay, NPP says they laid the foundation for the NDC to benefit. NDC says they have been fiscally disciplined. They have married the fiscals to the monetary side. And so they have shored up good reserves, for which reason the CD is doing good. Good stuff on both sides. Now, after the competition and the debates, can the two parties come together to consolidate the gains? Can they sit, send in their experts to sit at a table and decide that, listen, at the end of the day, we want the betterment of this country. It is the good of Mother Ghana that we are fighting for. So can the two of them put aside their party colors and whatever it is that they think they have achieved, okay, and come together, brainstorm on how to consolidate the gains that have been made, all right, so that at least we can have some relative stability. Because you see, it's good that the CD is gaining some strength. But if it becomes too strong, it's not entirely beneficial. It will collapse our export sector. Okay? So there should be some relative stability regarding the currency. Okay? And it's important that the two parties, after the long debate about who laid what foundation, who planted the seed, who came to water it, who is harvesting what, at the end of the day, it is Ghana that matters. And so can the two parties, after the debate, sit together and take decisions on how to consolidate the gains. Food for thought. All right. June is fast approaching and we are poised, we are ready, we are geared up to bring you the biggest agricultural fair in the country. I'm referring to the AgriFair 2025, which is happening from June 20 to June 22 at the Afua Sutherland Children's Park here in Accra. A groundbreaking event that is going to bring you innovators around the agri value chain, your farmers, just name it. We're assembling farmers and, of course, the innovators on the value chain and their farm produce, fresh farm produce, together at the Afua Sutherland Children's Park from the 20th of June to the 22nd of June. Exhibitions ongoing alongside sales, okay? So you have access to the various produce that will be exhibited on the day. Load up your wallets and show up. No gate fee. Just show up at the Afua Sutherland Children's Park. Come and shop fresh farm produce for your household, for your businesses, you name it. All right. And if you're looking to participate, then you should be calling the number early. Please call now, 0205 973 973. 0205 973 973. Please call the number now to register so that you can be a part of this groundbreaking event, the biggest exhibition and sale of fresh farm produce, the AgriFair 2025. We want to say thank you to our sponsors, the Ghana Exim Bank. Thank you so much. Legacy Crop Improvement Center, LCIC. Thank you so much. And Development Bank Ghana, DBG. We are most grateful to you. The event will be from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Okay, it's a 3-day event from the 20th to the 22nd of June. please join us at the Ifua Sutherland Children's Park for the AgriFair, the biggest exhibition and sale of fresh farm produce, a groundbreaking event that will assemble innovators, farmers, as well as you, the consumer, at the Ifua Sutherland Children's Park. So please call the number now to participate, 0205 973 973. Call us now, register to be a part of this wonderful, wonderful event. That's if you're a farmer looking to exhibit. But for consumers, shoppers, just walk to the Ifua Sutherland Children's Park, load up your wallets and your purses, and come make some wonderful purchases. All right. But that said, the entire month of June is a City Business Festival, CBF. Okay, so right from the beginning of June to the end of June, we're going to bring you amazing programming on air regarding business growth, business startups, business stability, and of course, that exponential growth you're looking to have for your business. And so from the 1st to the 30th of June, we're going to have a number of on-air activities. We're going to have outdoor events, and we need you to be a part of the City Business Festival. You'd want to tune into Channel 1 Television. Stay with us here for all the wonderful programming concerning businesses that will be brought to you, as well as 97.3 City FM, so you can get all the 411 on the business programming. But also be on the lookout for the outdoor programming. There's going to be a boot camp as well. Be on the lookout for that as we bring you the City Business Festival from the 1st to the 30th of June 2025. Now, the City Business Festival, of course, is brought to you by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 City FM, and is proudly sponsored by Absa Bank and MTN Business. I want to say thank you to Absa, thank you to MTN for going out of their way to sponsor the City Business Festival. So be a part of it, okay? Don't miss out on any of the programming on air from the 1st to the 30th of June, as well as the outdoor events that we will be bringing you, the seminars, the workshops, the boot camp. You might just want to be a part of that. It will be beneficial to you, especially the startups, the small, medium, and micro enterprises. You, that entrepreneur, you want to be a part of the City Business Festival. There's a lot in store, so much to learn. Industry experts are going to be speaking to specific sectors, specific issues, and it promises to be amazing. And so just be a part of it. Look out for the on-air programming from the 1st to the 30th, as well as the outdoor event for the City Business Festival. Once again, thank you to Absa Bank. Thank you to MTN Business for sponsoring the City Business Festival. Okay, let's get into the newspapers now, and let's check out what the papers are saying this morning. But later, that's tomorrow night on Thursday, you get to enjoy that show, what the papers are saying here on Channel 1 TV with Vivian Kai Loco. All right, this morning the Daily Graphic says, Governor explains economic gains. Governor explains economic gains. Comes with a picture of the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Pandit Esiama. Governor explains economic gains. Then you have CJ impeachment. Supreme Court throws out another injunction. CJ impeachment. Supreme Court throws out another injunction. Removal of beggars. GIS repatriates 925 people. Arrest put on hold for lack of space. Removal of beggars. GIS repatriates 925 people. Arrest put on hold for lack of space. Drivers, commuters react to 15% fare reduction. Drivers and commuters react to 15% fare reduction. I'll take you to the back page. Okay, back page has that story regarding the 15% fare reduction. And then you have the decongestion exercise, which is ongoing in the metropolis. Accra's decongestion, regional minister to reactivate task force. Accra's decongestion, regional minister to reactivate task force. All right, let's go check out the Ghanaian Times and see what the Ghanaian Times is saying. Kwashiorkor still ravages children after 92 years of its discovery. These are some of the things when I see, then after 92 years of its discovery, we've not found a solution to kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor. Hey, Ghana. Kwashiorkor still ravages children after 92 years of its discovery. That's the Ghana Health Service. I don't know if it is a lamentation or a revelation. I don't know. But it's just sad. It's just sad. In this day and age, we are dealing with cholera, which is just as a result of filth, indiscriminate disposal of waste. We are just not serious. We are just not serious. Anyways, let's move on. Interior Minister flags 338 conflict hotspots nationwide. Interior Minister flags 338 conflict hotspots nationwide. Don't restrict cash payment. That's Professor Korte speaking there. Don't restrict cash payment. Professor Korte of ISE speaking. Daily Guide. Let's go to the Daily Guide. But just before that, when you go to the back page of the Ghanaian Times, you have some other stories. The decongestion exercise. There was some resistance around the Kwame Nkrumah interchange yesterday. And then you have the Operation Red Line as part of the decongestion exercise, where a red line is being drawn on the ground as more or less to cordon off traders from moving onto the pavements. So yeah, kudos to the mayor of Accra, the regional minister, the Koliklote MCE, but we hope that the exercise is sustained. All right, let's get into the Daily Guide newspaper now. CJ Tokonu sues government over suspension, wants 2 judges restrained. CJ Tokonu sues government over suspension, wants 2 judges restrained. Minister directs Lands Commission to decentralize operations. Minister directs Lands Commission to decentralize operations. Mahama car gifts undermine ethics code. That's Transparency International speaking. Says Mahama car gifts undermine ethics code. Transparency International. Kozi visits Adentan flood victims. That's Akusia Menu. Says Kozi visits Adentan flood victims. And then you have University Senior Staff Association declare indefinite strike. University Senior Staff Association declare indefinite strike. Okay. That's the Daily Guide newspaper. Let me take you to the Chronicle. Well, let's see what the Chronicle has for us this morning. Justice Tokonu sues AG Puamang and others. Justice Tokonu sues AG Puamang and others. Agrada laughs over Empress Gifty's 200 billion CD lawsuit. Lands Minister asks Lands Commission to decentralize operations within 2 months. Lands Minister asked Lands Commission to decentralize operations within 2 months. Okay, looks like it's a rejoinder. There was a publication yesterday on same story that said 2 weeks. Okay, so the deadline for the decentralization, according to the paper yesterday, was 2 weeks. The paper has come back to make that correction. The minister actually referenced 2 months, not 2 weeks. And so that correction has been made by the Chronicle newspaper. And then you have Eco Group CEO awarded honorary doctorate degree. Eco Group CEO awarded honorary doctorate degree. And then Bible quotation for the day is from the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse number 7. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him. Nahum chapter 1, verse number 7, that says, the Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him. That's the word of God. May the Lord add his blessings to the reading of his word. Let's go into the Daybreak newspaper. Daybreak this morning says, CD performance, Mahama rules, but Baumia's ideas reign. That's the Member of Parliament for Tano North, Dr. Gideon Boako. He says, on the CD performance, Mahama rules, but Baumia's ideas reign. This is what I was saying earlier. the back and forth, this argument about who is taking credit for what, can we channel same energy into uniting to consolidate the gains? It will help us. I mean, anyways, SML sparks anger over procurement breaches. SML sparks anger over procurement breaches. Suspended CJ petitions Supreme Court to block 2 justices from removal case. Suspended CJ petitions Supreme Court to block 2 justices from removal case. You have GPHA reaffirms commitment to hassle-free port business. GPHA reaffirms commitment to hassle-free port business. All right, and then there's an issue that will be coming up in the paper. It says, Agrada dollars, how Sami Jemfi sealed the mouths of NPP communicators. That's the Daybreak newspaper. Let's take you to the Supreme newspaper. Says, election fraud allegations rock Ahafuano North Municipal Assembly. Election fraud allegations rock Ahafuano North Municipal Assembly. Volta Region Council of State member donates relief items to victims of tidal waves. Ghana Water Company MD admits no contract was signed with a Dubois. No money paid to him. Okay. Ghana Gold Board to curb smuggling, boost forex and stabilize CD. That's the finance minister speaking. Minority raises alarm. Electricity crisis erodes confidence in economic promises. And then you have TAG seizes opportunity at Select USA 2025 with New Mexico's NMEX's Gateway. That's the Supreme newspaper. So at this point, we're going to go online. We'll start with Channel 1 Newsroom. Channel1news.com, I beg your pardon. Channel1news.com. They are leading with gold for oil lacked credibility. Gold board has investor confidence. That's Professor Khalid. He's an economic advisor at the office of the vice president. He was on the Point of View here on Channel 1 television with Bernard Avle. And he says gold for oil lacked credibility. Gold board has investor confidence. That's Professor Khalid speaking there. Let's look at some other stories on channel1news.com. IPP's debt not meant for bullet payments. Again, Professor Khalid there, this time replying to Dr. Mahamudu Baumia. He says IPP's debt not meant for bullet payments. Then on the matter of decongestion, a Kumfi MP calls for support measures for affected traders. That's Othniel Kwenu, the Member of Parliament for Ekumfi. He also sits on the Trade, Industry and Tourism Committee of Parliament. Yesterday, he sat with my colleague Feme Dunyame on the Channel 1 newsroom, and he weighed in on the decongestion exercise and its impact on the livelihoods of affected traders. And he says, on decongestion, Ekumfi MP calls for support measures for affected traders. Let's look at some other stories. ECG to roll out 100-day maintenance at Swami Magazine. ECG to roll out 100-day maintenance at Swami Magazine. CJ Tokonu files Supreme Court injunction to halt Presidential Committee inquiry. CJ Tokonu files Supreme Court injunction to halt Presidential Committee inquiry. Supreme Court rejects second attempt to halt Chief Justice's removal process. Supreme Court rejects a second attempt to halt Chief Justice's removal process. Put Article 71 beneficiaries on SNIT. That's Professor Kweku Asare speaking. Put Article 71 beneficiaries on SNIT. And it's attributed to Professor Kweku Asare. Gamanche commends AMA Kole Clote for Accra decongestion efforts. Gamanche commends AMA Kole Clote for Accra decongestion efforts. $562 billion needed to complete energy transition by 2070. This is the Energy Ministry saying that $562 billion is needed to complete energy transition by the year 2070. Use district offices for registration of births. That's attributed to the registry. Use district offices for registration of births, and that's the registry to the public. Let's go to citynewsroom.com. Let's find out what's going on citynewsroom.com. What stories do they have there? What are they leading with? Trying to load it here so I can bring you some stories from citynewsroom.com. Yes, the former Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Godfred Yeboah-Dame, is here speaking, and he says it's about time good men speak. Dame justifies role as Tokonu's lawyer regarding the matter of the CJ suing the state and seeking the removal of some 2 justices from the committee hearing the probe for her impeachment. Godfred Dame is her lawyer, and he says it's about time good men speak. Was responding to whether or not he has breached any conflict of interest or otherwise. Let's check out some other stories on the website. Reliable electricity key to 24-hour economy. That's the Asante Hinotunfo say to the second speaking. And he says reliable electricity is key to 24-hour economy. All right. Still on the citynewsroom.com, producer price inflation falls sharply to 18.5% in April. Producer price inflation falls sharply to 18.5% in April. All right, let's move on to some other stories. Dr. Kabiru, CD, was recovering before NPP left office. That's Dr. Kabiru speaking. He says the CD was recovering before the NPP left office. Yeah, so this is what I've been saying. Dr. Kabiru and Professor Khalid clash over CD gains. Last night on The Point of View, quite an interesting show. You have Dr. Kabiru of the MPP and then Professor Khalid from the Office of the Vice President on the show. And about what I'm saying, which party or which administration takes credit for the gains made by the CD. But in all this, nobody is telling us plans to sustain the gains made, plans to consolidate the gains made. We'll sit here and then we'll allow the CD to start depreciating again. But as it is gaining some strength, we have seen them clashing heads over who takes credit over the gains made by the CD. Anyways, let's move on to some other stories. This is from the camp of the minority. Mahama's acknowledgement of reserves validates MPP policies. Well, that's the former Finance Minister, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, speaking, also on the same matter, taking credit. Suspended Chief Justice barking, but cannot bite. That's Ansar Asari speaking there. He says suspended Chief Justice barking, but cannot bite. Okay, let's move on now. Gold Board is filling critical gap in Ghana's forex markets. That's the MP4 Ekunfi Othniel Kwenu speaking there. He says Gold Board is filling critical gap in Ghana's forex markets. Let's check out a few more stories. Kofodia MCE orders citywide cleanup to tackle flooding and sanitation challenges. Kofodia MCE orders citywide cleanup to tackle flooding and sanitation challenges. Eduji Tamaklo, suspended CJ's injunction application quite refreshing. That's the Director of Legal Affairs for the National Democratic Congress, acting CEO of the NPA, Eduji Tamaklo speaking there. He says the suspended CJ's injunction application is quite refreshing. He spoke on Eyewitness News on 97.3 City FM last night. NPP deserves some credit for CD stability. That's Professor Bokpen speaking there. He says the NPP deserves some credit for CD stability. Right, so you get the details of these stories and several others on both websites, channel1news.com, citynewsroom.com. Go on to these websites and you can get the details of these stories there. But this is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. I am Nanatufo Boateng. Stay with us. When we come back, the news review segment begins.
farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel One TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery, this is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. Come one, come all. Enjoy the freshest farm produce at unbeatable prices. And treat yourself to sizzling kebabs made from beef, mutton, pork, chicken, and more. Great taste, great value. Don't miss out. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel One TV with support from 97.3 CDFM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, and Development Bank Ghana. In a world filled with challenges, we all need guidance, hope, and a lifeline to anchor us.
This is Lifeline, and I'm your host, Fred Crunchy Mensah.
From social issues, relationship challenges, and family matters, Lifeline is here to inspire, uplift, and guide you on your journey.
Where we give you support, where we hold your hand through the valley and through the thick and thins of life.
Join Bishop Fred Crunchy Mensah.
I welcome you especially to Lifeline.
Every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 p.m. right here on Channel One TV. Let's walk this path together, strengthen our faith, our families, and our lives. Lifeline, because every soul deserves a guiding light. Tune in to Lifeline on Channel One TV and let's grow together.
This week, a letter opens a heart and a door to difficult truths.
There's a man in my life, someone I care about deeply. To the outside world, we may just be friends, but to me, he's so much more. But here's the painful truth. He's in love with someone else, my childhood best friend. And that's where it hurts. She doesn't feel the same way about him. She's never truly seen him, not the way I do. But still, his heart leans towards her, and I'm left in the shadows. Should I tell him the truth or quietly protect my heart from further pain? Please help me.
At the end of the day, it will end in gargantuan tears. My take is that you are being a witch. But because you haven't done it yet, I won't call you a witch.
I don't think it's love. I think it's just the idea of it.
Yeah.
The idea of how beautiful they look together. And how beautiful whatever they have going on is.
Ask yourself, is this thing I'm doing good? I mean, where would it lead to? Even if it was not her friend and it was an ordinary guy, the way she's going about this, she's going to really hurt herself.
Join Chris Carter and his sisters this Friday at 9 p.m. on Channel One TV as they dive into a story of silent love, heartbreak, and sisterly support. Sometimes, the hardest truth is the one we carry in silence. Sister, sister, real stories, real women. Real Talk. Sister Sister is proudly sponsored by Gino. Gino truly cares.
You're watching Breakfast Daily here on Channel One Television. It's time for the news review segment where we get into a conversation regarding some topical issues that are spanning the media space. This morning, a lot of stories, quite interesting as well. But we begin from the judiciary, where the suspended Chief Justice, Her Ladyship, Justice Gertrude Tokonu, has, if you like, filed a suit seeking to block 2 justices from participating in that committee hearings or committee sittings that seek to probe petitions seeking for her removal. I'll take you to citynewsroom.com real quick. I'll read a few paragraphs of that story and then I introduce my guest and we can have that conversation. Okay, story says suspended CJ Tokonu petitions Supreme Court to block 2 justices from removal case. Suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu has petitioned the Supreme Court to bar 2 of its justices, Gabriel Scott Poamang and Samuel Kwame Adibu Asiedu, from taking part in the proceedings that could lead to her removal from office. The application filed on her behalf by former Attorney General Godfrey Yeboah Dame follows allegations that the 2 justices met privately with a lawyer connected to the matter currently before a committee of inquiry. The writ names Justices Gabriel Scott Poamang and Samuel Adibu Asiedu, former Auditor General Daniel Yao Domelevo, Major Flora Bazanura Dalugo, and Professor James Sefajisa as defendants or respondents. According to the motion, Justice Tokonu is requesting the Supreme Court to restrain the committee, composed of the second to 6th defendants, from continuing any proceedings or actions relating to the inquiry into the 3 petitions seeking her removal. So those are like excerpts of that story. You go on citynewsroom.com and you can get the details there. But let me say good morning to Dr. Joshua Jegunti Zato. He's a member of the New Patriotic Party MPP and a senior lecturer at the Political Science Department of the University of Ghana, Legon. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, boss.
It's good to see you again.
Good. Thank you.
So CJ is in court. And it's quite interesting to have a suspended CJ file an application at the court seeking, first of all, an injunction on to be placed on the committee that is sitting or probing petitions seeking her removal. First off, what do you make of this before we go into the merits of the relief she's seeking, and then, of course, her representation in court?
Thank you very much. Good morning to you and good morning to all your listeners. Before I start, I have to say a big shout out to Honorable Sam Rosedere, the boss. I hear your team, Manchester United, played yesterday. How is market? Sorry, I'm just saying that.
Market is very bad for them.
The boss, sorry, take it easy. I'm just saying. And to my friend, Dr. Frank Alon of African Policy Lens, Prof, I've seen you on Facebook trying to be angry. I hear your team also played, Manchester United. When we say support a better team, support Arsenal, you refuse. You are still with Manchester. So good morning, the boss. Okay. And to all Manchester United fans, Honorable Abbas Tondrogo is the constituency youth organizer of Society. Honorable, sorry. But don't worry, your team is still better than Chelsea, right? Yeah. Everybody is better than Chelsea right now, so sorry about that. Listen, I'm so happy about these issues happening. And something tells me that if you are a student of law, if you are currently studying law or preparing to study law, this should be like a holy day to you. Because I don't know whether there's anything in the curriculum at law school that specifically deals with issues like this. Right. And I don't remember the last time a law lecturer can walk into a lecture hall and say, this is a case study of how this chief justice or a chief justice was removed. Right. That whatever theories and legal principles we've learned, this was when they came clashing. So study that. It doesn't happen. Yeah. I've not seen that. Under this current dispensation, this is the first time that a chief justice is going. So I want to believe that students of law, people who are interested in law, and those of us...
You say going as if it's a done deal.
Okay, I've said this, and I don't want people out there to be saying that I'm being very repetitive and anything. She's gone. The Chief Justice, my hypothesis is that she's gone. She's not going back to her office.
She's been suspended.
Again, I know, I agreed, but I'm saying that my hypothesis is that the Chief Justice is gone. What is happening is just a mere formalities until finally the letter. I wouldn't even be surprised if the letter is just sitting on the desk waiting to be signed and the date put in there for it to go. She's gone. And the only reason why she might go back to the office, I've said this again, I don't want to sound repetitive or boring, is if probably she left something there, she's going back for it. If not, she's gone. That's it. Because those are the political aims. The legal process means it's a legal means to achieve a political objective, and the political objective is to get her out of there. I've stated this clear, and I just want to emphasize so that nobody says that I'm being that's
what it is,
now,
according to your hypothesis.
I am happy this is happening. If you speak to somebody, they will say, "Oh, Charlotte Osei was removed from office." Oh, the Shraj Loretta was also removed from the office. But those are both qualitatively and quantitatively different. Charlotte Osei and Loretta were not co-equal arms of government. They were not. We have, in principle, what is called the separation of powers. And that means that the powers are separate but equal.
Right.
The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. That means that in theory and based on the principle we have, the Chief Justice, the Speaker of Parliament, and the President are there. That is why, you remember, there was a time that the Speaker of Parliament said back that I am number 3, what's your number? He was being very emphatic about it because that is the position.
Yeah.
So it should not be very easy to remove a co-equal arm of government.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a day's play. It shouldn't just be that, oh, we wake up and it is gone. No, it should be difficult. It should intentionally be difficult. It should be controversial. There ought to be political price to pay and a political price to gain. Politically, whosoever does this should either gain something or lose something. That political aspect must be factored into it. It is baked into that cake because it's a very, very, very serious thing that you are beginning to do. So I'm happy that's happening. Secondly, I'm happy that unlike both Charlotte Osei and the other woman, the Chief Justice is not sitting like an easy target to be taken out. No. That she's saying that this is my arena. This is my field. I know this business. So I am going to fight this and fight to the end. That I am also going to fight using the law. And that is what makes me happy. That I'm also going to go to the same judicial system. I'm also going to use the same legal system to fight for a petition. Maybe she's not fighting for herself because she knows she's going to. But probably she's fighting for her daughter. Okay. Maybe she's fighting for your daughter. Maybe she's fighting for any other woman outside there who might have. Because I've heard from some quarters, from some people that say that, oh, why doesn't she just resign? It will make this thing easy. Why is she putting the whole country through this? Why is she polarizing the country? Why is she making the politics so difficult and so big? If she just resigned, then she can. In fact, I've actually heard somebody saying that the Chief Justice can have what is called a negotiated retirement. So she could say, okay, I'm retiring, let's negotiate retire. Then I asked these people, if it was a man that was accused or that was being removed, will you tell the man to give him a runner? If it was a man that was being charged, will you tell the man, you would have advised the man to stand and fight. You would have told the man to use every single legitimate means to fight. How come now that it's a woman, you are telling the woman to give up and to run away? Is that how you would advise your daughter? Then why send your daughter to school? If your daughter is competing or if your daughter is being like, will you tell your daughter, don't fight for your rights, don't fight for what you believe, retire, just resign and go away? No, you wouldn't say that. So for me, the idea that the woman should just resign is not here. I want to see this thing all the way to its logical conclusion. I've said, I think I hypothesize the logical conclusion that she will go, but I want to see it happen. I want to see the president sign the decision that I am removing you from office. I want those to be part of our archives. I want those to be part of the history of Ghana, so that tomorrow when we are teaching political science at the premium political science department, we can tell you that yes, it was this president under this who was the first to remove a Chief Justice from office. Then we can have the text, we can have the documents to better educate our students that this happened, that this is one of the few things that happened and that is okay. We can and should do that. Secondly, this is politics. Somebody once said that war is politics by other means. This process is politics by other means. So when I hear somebody says, and I like the optics, it's the usual what is happening here is the usual NDC, MPP politics. Nothing about it. Nothing about it. You have a former chief justice appointed by a former MPP president who is being suspended and is being represented by a former attorney general appointed by a MPP president. That is the political angle of it. I'm prepared to say it. On the other hand, you have an acting chief justice who has been promoted by a sitting NDC president, who is there together. You also have sitting deputy attorney general appointed by also there. The optics are good for all of us to see. At the end of the day, everybody is trying to do one or two things. As I said, they've all baked this in this transactional cost theory. It said the woman would go. The NDC is trying very hard not to get any political blowback from this process. The argument from the NDC is simple. This is just mere formality, mere legality, no politics to do here. That's the point that, what's the name? The NDC is trying to do. Very important. The MPP is trying to say that, no, there's a lot to see here. It's not just a smooth judicial process. It's not just a smooth constitutional process. No, this is hyper-partisanship. And that there ought to be a political price to pay for removing an equal arm of government.
But isn't it interesting that the CJ is in court seeking to injunct a constitutional process that is underway when the Supreme Court itself has earlier given a ruling about same?
That's what I'm saying. We're about to see a great show. Get your popcorn, okay? Get your show. Watch. We're about to see it happen here. Some of the best legal brains in the country are slotting it. Come on, tell me you don't like it. It's like a World Cup of what? The legal equivalent of a World Cup in Ghana. Let's watch. Let's read. Let's see. The optics are good, everything. Because that's what I'm saying. Here is what I think the lawyers may say it helps improve our legal jurisprudence, right? Yes, it does. The rulings, both for and against, will go into. There's something that I also saw about the Dami case. When the people was in power, the argument was that Godfrey Dami was winning so many cases that whenever he goes to court, he wins. Whenever he goes to court, he wins. And that when he was in private practice, he wasn't winning so many cases. The implication is an MPP bench. Today, Godfrey Dami is losing almost all the cases because of it. But another attorney general is also winning almost all his cases. Is it because? I know, my theory is that, look.
The attorney general hasn't won any case yet. He's only filed charges in court. But he's not won
most of
any
the cases that go, attorney general was the one who was defending.
No, I mean this one.
The deputy attorney general was the one who was defending. Yesterday's case, the two cases that he was in court, right?
Okay, yeah.
He was in court. He was in court. I called those winners. So far, almost every case that has gone to the Supreme Court about this injunction, he has been the one there. He's won all of them. So he's on a winning spree. Good for you, Prof. I know he was a fellow at the University of Ghana. He's also winning. Yes, I'm sorry. I've met him once. Very nice guy and smart guy too. So what should we read something to that too? That he too is on the winning spree? No. What I come to know is that the government, the Attorney General, usually has a high rate of success in courts. Almost everybody, the governments almost always win. That is why in almost every criminal case the government wins. So let's not bring that up. But I'm happy that the Chief Justice is fighting to the end. I'm fighting that she's not going down without a fight. And I'm happy that this is happening in the broad view so that we can all see and watch. And I hope that at the end of the day, as a country, as individuals, we learn something and we learn a lot from it.
Right. Thank you very much. Let's say good morning to Elvis Darko, editor of the News Center newspaper and newscenter.com. Elvis, good morning.
Good morning.
And let's say good morning to Nanaya Jantua. She is a presidential staffer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you. So we'll be having a conversation about the suspended CJ, Gertrude Tokonu, and her suit seeking the removal of two justices, Gabriel Scott Poaman and Adibu Asiedu, from the committee hearing the petitions for her removal. Doc has just given his submission. Nanaya, let me come to you on this. Is this an opportunity for the CJ or the suspended CJ herself to face the law that she has in recent times superintended over?
Thank you very much. And I've not been following it. I want to know the reason why, before I continue, he wants those two justices out. Is it Siedu and Poaman?
And Poaman, yes.
What was the reason?
Basically, in relation to that petition filed by a private citizen, yes, alleging that these justices were seen in the company of a lawyer of one of the petitioners in the case seeking her removal.
but it is neither here nor there. And I also don't want, Prof, good morning. Is it Dr. Zato?
Dr. Zato.
Zato. I don't want you to play the gender card.
Why not?
Because Charlotte Osei wasn't a man. She was a woman. Other women were not men. They were women. Loretta Lamptey. Yeah. I myself am a woman. I'm not a man. And we went through worse things than what CJ is going through. Worse things. And the MPP didn't see us as women. So let's not play the gender card.
Briefly. She called my name. Yeah. Nice to meet you. I've met your brother a lot of times.
Everybody meets my brother. When you all time, let me finish. You've spoken for 30 minutes. Yes. You come back, you spoke for 30 minutes. So the point is that I do not think that we should play the gender card. That because she's a woman, she's fighting. No. If the law says A, let A work. I've sat on this same platform and I said, let the process go through. It is a constitutional process. Why is everybody fighting it? Let it go through. Some other people went through processes and at the end of the day, what happened. Others too went through and they were exonerated. Do you get me? So let the process go through. What the Constitution has said should be done, let it be done. Nobody knows. It's as if everybody is preempting the end of it. Let it go through. Look, when Charlotte was removed, Charlotte, that was the first that my brother said that it would be used as a case study in political science, in the political science department. Have they used Charlotte's own as a case study? Democracy birthed our Supreme Court. Because without a democracy, we didn't have a Supreme Court. And Charlotte's institution, the EC, is one of the most important bodies in this country. Without the EC, we will be in a chaotic situation. Because the EC is the one that pretends over elections. And without an election, you don't have a democracy. Then you go back to a junta. You get me? And Charlotte was removed, and that was the first time that an EC person, chairman, was removed. We had all of them spanning governments. Afarijan being the longest. He was there. He spanned NDC, MPP. If he started, I think, just 1992, went on. He was not removed till he retired. A constitutionally independent body. When MPP came, Charlotte was removed. Why didn't they use it as a case study? But they want to use the Chief Justice own as a case study. Everybody says, oh, it's an arm of government. EC is the most important body. If you attend IPAC as a General Secretary of the CPP, I was attending IPAC. It will tell you that this institution is about Ghana. If EC gets it wrong, Ghana will be chaotic. And their chairman in 2017 went through it. Why does she want to place an injunction? Yesterday, I heard she was in court, or some people were in court to place a petition and so many things. Now an injunction on 2 people. Why? This is what has happened. They said this is the committee. You don't have to delay it. Maybe then they should change the whole trajectory of it and take her elsewhere to answer questions. I went to BNI to answer questions. Some other people went to Yoko. This one is not an economic crime. We have, these are investigative bodies. If she doesn't believe in those ones, maybe we should take her to the BNI for her to go and answer her questions. Because the committee has been set. It has been set constitutionally. You do not determine who is on it or not. You don't determine it. I heard my brother saying some people said she should resign. Fine, that is their opinion. You cannot force anybody to say that or suggest that she should retire, she should resign. These are opinions of people. So you can't even use it in an argument. It is not government's opinion. But this is what it is. Petitions have been brought against you. You have answered your petitions. Now the process has come. Go before the process. Charlotte said, did she even had the opportunity to even go to court? Who was going to listen to that poor woman? You have just destroyed her. She's not a woman. She's not a woman. I was taken off when I was not even 50. My life, my career, everything. Shoo. I am a woman. I'm not a man. There are others. Do you get me? So I do not see why anybody should say that government is going to benefit from this. Government is going to remove her anyway. Why do you preempt it? This is premeditated. Let us go through the process. Let the committee. She was aware that the committee was in place. Why didn't she start the injunction, but now she's putting an injunction?
Because
this committee,
that event had not taken place then.
This committee was put in place and she was aware. She didn't say, she didn't cough. You see, for her to even go ahead to respond to the petition, it means she has accepted to go through the process.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Because if it was me, I would say that I'm not interested in this whole thing. I'm going to court to even stop the whole process. She actually sat down with her lawyers to answer to the petition. The moment you do that, then it means that you have accepted to go through the process. So what has happened that now you want to put an injunction on 2 people? How can those 2 people influence the outcome? They cannot, because there are also 2 other people who I know are very credible. Professor Jisa taught me. He's a very credible person. So I do not understand why they would do anything otherwise. They are using the law. And I don't think they can go against the law. Even if you are indicted, maybe you are indicted on your own submissions. What have you written in your responses? My experience from everything that I've been through is that you are indicted on your own responses. The way you respond, the way you say, you are indicted on it. So if you have already responded, meaning that if you respond, meaning that I am ready to face the process. I don't think that anybody, because the way the MPP is fighting this whole thing, I'm surprised. There is nothing to fight. Then rather you are fighting the Constitution. Because it's the Constitution that gave the process by which a Chief Justice will go through this. Do you get me? That when a petition is brought, you form a committee. It is there. So if you have anything to do, you don't go after government. You go after the Constitution. If you think that's anything, you were there 8 years, you didn't look at the Constitution. You had a constitutional day. That's a day that 7th, and you took away the 1st July. Because that 1st July was the day that we had our republic, and we got our republic to Kwame Nkrumah. So you had this Asian foe kind of syndrome. So you took 1st July and replaced it with 7th January. Constitution Day. We never opened the Constitution. I always said that was a very nonsensical holiday. Because we never, not a day did we say that today we are going through our Constitution. So if you have anything, it is the Constitution that has provided the provision for this to go through. If the framers of the Constitution did not envisage that a day will come that there might be the need to remove or let a Chief Justice go through a certain process, they wouldn't have put it in the Constitution. But they envisage that it might come in a day. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. And for me, I don't understand why you did it. You thought it was good. We are not saying that, it's like payback time, no. But you thought it was good. Nobody complained. Everybody spoke. We cried, we wept, we begged you. You said no. You removed Charlotte. Giddy, 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 giddy. You see, with Charlotte's own, she also went with her 2 deputies. All their entitlements were not paid to them. Whatever was due them as in financial, they were not paid to them. One of them I think is even dead now. Amadou Tule. You didn't care. They went home empty. You didn't complain. Why didn't you complain? Is it callousness or what? Is it wickedness? When it comes to you, some women are men. But when the women are close to your heart, then they are women. Can you imagine this? I'm telling you that at that time, 2017, I was telling somebody yesterday, you could not even speak for yourself. Where were you going to go? You were treated as if you were not a human being, that you are not even a Ghanaian. Who were you going to speak to? Which court were you going to? You just took whatever came to you and prayed to God that you'll be okay. Right now, Chief Justice can go to court and place an injunction. It means that the environment is very friendly. I know Charlotte personally. We went through our troubles together. You couldn't go anywhere to speak. As a woman, you were so perplexed. I mean, you didn't even know your family, everybody around you didn't even know what to do. And I'm telling you from experience. Anytime I think of those experiences, I start to tear up. And now I am surprised when it comes to Chief Justice. MPP wants to behave as if somebody has done something wrong. Where were they? The men today who are saying that this is a woman. Where were they when we were going through that process? And a more wicked process. A process where you were treated with so like you are not a human being. You are just dehumanized. They put you at your lowest ebb. She can go to court. She has dignity. She has something left in her. Some of us, Charlotte, others, had nothing left in them. Nothing. Nothing left in them to even go anywhere to go and speak. Nobody will listen to you, whether you were guilty or not guilty. She now has the opportunity. It means that democracy is working. It means that we have a president who cares. Yes, it means that it's the government that has decided that Ghana must work, our institutions must work. For her to be able to go and say that, I don't want this, I don't want that. How dare you to even say that you don't want this, you don't want that? You couldn't have said it, I'm telling you. You have to go by what they said should happen to you. If you are mistreated, if you are insulted, you are quiet. You knew what was going on was wrong, but you couldn't say anything. Today, Charlotte, a very good material. She was at NCC before she came to EC, first woman. So that's alone, first woman EC, female EC. She actually announced you to be the president or the party that won the power. She did not manipulate anything. She did not do anything. Even though you didn't appoint her, she learnt from her predecessor, Afarijan. And without, you see, we even had issues. Remember, there was a problem with the coalition. There was some problem with their network. But whatever it is, she announced the elections for you. And you orchestrated, if you read the Japa document, this is in there. You orchestrated to get her out. So why are you talking? It's not as if you haven't done it before. That one is not even in the Constitution. Do you get me?
Yeah.
The process for removing, you found the process. Because I don't think that the Constitution or the framers ever thought that anybody will remove it easy. They never thought about it. This thing is not really, you have to go to the court, the Supreme Court, and seek this thing. But I am saying that Charlotte, everybody was shocked. Why remove Charlotte? What did she do? Some warped up charges that she did, and she did that. And Charlotte was gone. A young woman at the height of her career. The MPP could not tolerate her. A woman. And she was off. She was gone.
Right. Vero, let me bring in Elvis on this matter. The CJ then, when the Otafo MP, Vincent Asafua, filed his case in court, she was still CJ. She empaneled Adibu Asiedu. But today, she wants Adibu Asiedu removed from a committee that is looking into her own petitions. What do you make of it?
Look, democracy is what it is. It provides clear path as to what things can be done, what cannot be done. And as the democracy grows, we learn through things that happen. So whatever is happening now, we will learn from it. What we should all guard against, which is the reason why we are not even seeing clear what should be done or what should not be done, why we are talking too much, is the unnecessary politicization when things like this come up. If today NDC people can say Akufo-Addo remove Charlotte Osei or Loretta Lamte, then it's obvious if the CJ is removed, it will be Mahama's name that will be on this political scene that politically Mahama removed get to talk on it. That way you can't take it away because it is politics. Yeah. That is not a process. They are not referring to or faulting a process. They make these statements for political gains. For political gains. Because whether I like it or not, Charlotte Osei was taken to a process. And up to today, nobody has been able to establish the process that she was taken through by law is faulty. The CJ is being taken to a process. And the process will go to an end until somebody is able to prove that the process she has been taken through is legally wrong. The final decision will be taken. We need to understand that when we continue to politicize things like this, it's going to be creating more chaos in our systems. Right. And then it will make it look like our democracy doesn't work. And that is where we will create room for some adventurous people to want to think anyhow. Politicians should be mindful of the statements they make when things like this are happening. Because we are living in a sub-region where we know what is happening around all around. And therefore, when we have accepted that we want to pass a constitution and processes are laid down, let's be mindful of the things we say. Because tomorrow, as somebody said, I agree with him, when democracy is there, the politicians tend to disregard the processes. They tend to create things that favor them. But then when those adventurous people take over, then they say, oh, civilians, come, let's hit the streets. Hit the streets for what? You are the one who created the room for those adventurers to come in. So I think that I want to sound this caution, I'll sound it any day, anytime, that look, let's be mindful of our unnecessary partisanship when issues come up. President Mills took over power and dissolved the Bank of Ghana board. Senior lawyer Sam Okudzeto said no, per his reading of the Act of the Bank of Ghana. A president cannot dissolve the board of the Bank of Ghana. He was called all kinds of names by NDC people, insulted all over the place. He went to the court. 4 years down the line, the Supreme Court ruled that the President Mills was wrong in dissolving Bank of Ghana board because per the Act of the Bank of Ghana, a president has no power to dissolve the Bank of Ghana board. It has become the law today. If just Okudzeto had not gone to court, it will remain a political issue today. But because he had the courage to go to court and the court has pronounced, today everybody agrees that removal of dissolving of the board was illegal per the laws of Ghana. Under Akufo-Addo, Domelevo, issues came up about his date of birth. That he submitted 2 different dates of birth. And he came out clarifying that, look, the one that said he's due for retirement was a wrong date, though he submitted himself. It's not the right date. He's found the right date because of birth certificate issues, age became an issue. It was back and forth between the Auditor General and the then President Akufo-Addo. At the end of the day, then Akufo-Addo ordered him to proceed on leave. And then the decision was taken that the government of the day decided to work with the first date of birth, which showed that he had retired. So he should go on retirement. Back and forth, Domelevo had to leave. But then someone went to court to challenge whether a sitting president has the power to order an Auditor General to go on leave. The ruling came under the same President Akufo-Addo. And the Supreme Court said, no president has the power to direct or instruct an Auditor General to go on leave. Because per the act of the Auditor General, the president has no such powers. It is a precedent now that tomorrow, no president can now come and say, I'm instructing an Auditor General to go on leave. These are democratic processes, okay? If people have not gone to court to challenge these issues, there will not be a clear path today. Because in the case of Demalevo, a former Attorney General was also asked to proceed on leave. Okay? At that time, nobody went to court. So it didn't become an issue. You understand it? So because of that precedent, Akufo-Addo also thought that, oh, if a president was able to order an Auditor General to go on leave, then I can also do it. And he also did it. But because somebody gathered the courage to go to the Supreme Court and sought the interpretation, today we are clear in our mind that no president can ask an Auditor General to go on leave. So it's good for a democracy for people to go to the Apex Court to seek interpretation of issues. It makes our democracy clearer, especially in a country where our constitution is a confused one. Because we say we are practicing a hybrid constitution where we mix things from other places to other places. So things are not clear where we are saying, like, oh, our constitution is clearly what the UK does, and the one this is it, or this is what the US does. So when things happen, this is it. Our constitution is not like that. So it requires that we look for more interpretation from the Supreme Court. So these issues to be clear. So we have clarity on some of these issues today. Though at that time, people made it serious political issues. When Domelevo issue, NDC made a mole out of it. Akufo-Addo is this, Akufo-Addo is that. They made a mole out of it. You understand? And as I said, when Okujeto also went to court challenging President Most Power, the NDC made a mole out. How can somebody be challenging the authority of the president? The president has the power and order. The Supreme Court has said both presidents, what they did, they had no power to do it based on the law. So when people go to the Supreme Court to seek interpretations, it is important that we allow more people to go to the Supreme Court, irrespective of the person involved, so that precedent will be there. But then the law will state that this is what it is. Because as I said, when Akufo-Addo saw that a former president has been able to suspend somebody, he said, I can also do it. But now the law is clear that you can't do it. So if we are able to let the law speak rather than precedent, our democracy will become clearer and clearer. Because most of the time when we are relying on precedent, until the law or the Supreme Court speak, we think precedent is what we should follow. But I think the law should take precedent over precedent. You understand? So for me, I think that the Chief Justice going to the Supreme Court and making this request, I think it's in order. Because sitting here, based on comments leading NDC members have made all over in the media space, it's clear to the Chief Justice that she's going. Okay? But in my mind, I'm thinking that she thinks that, well, even if I'm going, I want the Supreme Court to make a pronouncement so that nobody will come tomorrow and come and say, this is how talk on was removed, so tomorrow we can also do same. She wants the Supreme Court to pronounce that A, B, C, D is what it is, so that in the future, no president will come and say, because a former president or a president had done this, I also want to do it. So I think that we should allow the CJ to file as many things that she wants to file at the Supreme Court. Let the Supreme Court make these decisions, okay? And then they become the law to govern and guide our democracy. But then when we give room for this political pronouncement, okay, this is why people will politicize the issues. You understand it? I've sat and told you what started all the issues at the EC at the time of Charlotte Osei. If it is not for politics, and we look at the clear issue, we would have realized that there were issues. As to whether they merit removal or not is another point. But clearly there were issues at the EC at the time. You understand it? Today, people have filed petitions against the CJ. You ask yourself, same petition by Professor Azan, Akufo-Addo government issued a position that with the consultation of Council of State and their legal brains, they think that Professor Azan's petition is not worth considering. They couldn't establish a prima facie case from that same petition. Akufo-Addo is out of power. Mahama takes over. The same petition that legal brains, the Council of State at the time, and the then President Akufo-Addo found no merit in. Another president, John Mahama, his legal brains and his Council of State have found merit in it and have triggered the process. All these issues are the reasons why sometimes people think that people are doing more politics, politicians are doing politics rather than the law. Because you ask yourself, between the two, which one do you want the public to believe? Do you want the public to believe that Akufo-Addo, his Council of State and his lawyers were right? Or you want the public to believe that John Mahama, his Council of State and lawyers are right? Which one? I don't know which one to believe now. Because a president and the Council of State and his lawyer says they think there's no merit.
Exactly.
Another president, his Council of State and lawyer says there is merit. So is it, you create this doubt in the mind of the ordinary person now to be thinking that, oh, then this idea of politicians meddling in the law, trying to control how things work, how systems work, is true. Do you understand it? So these some of these things are matters of concern for governments and politicians and leaders, for us to be able to look at things and say, look, this thing we think that it shouldn't repeat itself. Because when we keep repeating things like this, we create doubts in the mind of the people. And that's why I say that we shouldn't create room for adventurers to think that the democracy we are practicing is not helping, or people are interfering in the process for their own gain, and therefore they want to take over the country. This is what the politician who always want to look at partisanship over the law should think about. If tomorrow there's a military regime in this country, it's the politicians who have caused it. It's not the ordinary person who, it's the politicians who have caused it by their utterances and the way they want to bring partisanship into everything. If the country set up a process to be followed, and it's being followed, allow the process to be followed. Okay? If they can find, you can file process in the court, and the Supreme Court system will say that this process is faulty, let the court say so. If the court says that it's not faulty, let it be so. The Supreme Court has made decisions in the past. Same Supreme Court has overturned them. And it is what has happened everywhere in the world. So if today the Supreme Court says this is what it is, we work with it. If tomorrow another Supreme Court says they disagree, we work with it. That is how democracy works. But if the Supreme Court today says this is how things should be, and you say you disagree with the Supreme Court, so you want to actually paint the courts and the judges as politicians, what you are forgetting is that you are creating the impression that politicians are now in control of the entire system. The separation of power doesn't work, and that is where you are trying to invite some military person sitting somewhere and say, oh, if the system that we all agree that it should work, the politicians themselves are telling us that they are in control of all the system, then why not the military take over and control? And I think that the messages that politicians send when issues come up and they are more interested in the partisanship aspect rather than the law, they should know that they are creating that room that is telling the public that, Elvis, you cannot trust these politicians. Because how can a president, his legal team, and his Council of State say a petition has no merit? But the same petition, when there's a change of government, another president, his legal team, his Council of State, that there's merit. As the ordinary person, which one am I supposed to believe? I am not a lawyer. I have not sat on the Council of State. I've never been a president. So, ordinary person, which one do you want me to believe that in the case of, I'm now citing Professor Zan's petition because it's a perfect fit for everybody to go back and look at what really is in the petition and how come one says there's no merit, one says there's a merit. And that is why I agree with the Ghana Bar Association that if on the same petition a president, his Council of State and lawyer says there's no merit, and another president that there's a merit, so long as the first one has published its premier facie determination, then the current president should also publish, because we are dealing with the same petition in this case. So that then you give us the opportunity to say it is reason A, B, C, D, why the previous government said they didn't have, they talk there's no merit. But then this government is saying A, B, C, D. Probably somebody may even also trigger a legal process over that. By so doing, we are strengthening and growing the democracy. So I think that let's be focused as a country. Let's be careful of our partisanship statement. Let's rather focus our attention on things that will ensure that the law and pronouncements from the Supreme Court strengthens the process, so that there will be clear in the future that this is it. As Nana has said, people have a lot. People have complained about Shalotose removal, but ever since she was removed, nobody has gone to the Supreme Court to say, I think ABCD has happened. It is not late. Even today, anybody can go to the Supreme Court to say, I think the process that was used to remove Shalotose is not fair.
Doc, let me come to you and the issue of whether or not this application filed by the CJ is constitutional. If you look at the reliefs she's seeking, the third one is for a suspension of the presidential warrant issued under Article 14610 of the 1992 Constitution, which allegedly calls for her suspension pending the inquiry. Article 14610 gives the president that discretionary power.
Thank you very much. I just want to continue where my brother said. You see, that is the bigger point I was making. Madam did not get up, but I'll come back to that. That look, say whatever you want about Akufo-Addo. Say whatever you want about that petition that was given to him to remove the Chief Justice by the man. He published his opinion and the opinion of the Council of State. The Council of State sat in camera. We don't know what happened, but after that, he came out with a statement saying, these are our legal responses. So we can read them. I can read them and say, I disagree with you, Akufo. I can read them and say, I agree with you. But that document exists. And that is an amount of transparency, that is an amount of accountability. To say that, look, I have found nothing here. Now, His Excellency President has done something. You've also gone to the Council of State. The Council of State has issued sat in camera and have issued their own opinion saying, we have the... Why don't you publish that report? So as I said, we can now take, how did these lawyers come to no prima facie on this same case? And how did these other lawyers come to come to this? Then we can make the two to see where the fault lines. You understand? Right. That amount of transparency, that amount of accountability is lacking in the current process. You cannot hide behind the fact that the Council of State is supposed to sit in camera, and then they sat in camera when Akufo-Addo was in power. But he released it. Why? I'm sure probably he did it for posterity. I'm sure he did it because he realized that in future something like that will come up, and that both the lawyers going before the Council of State or lawyers and everybody can have something to read to prepare while it's going. That's what I'm saying. And when I was talking about I didn't say because she's a woman, this shouldn't happen. I never said that. So probably Madam did not hear me well. What I'm saying is that I have sat on panels with members of the NDC, and they have suggested that she should just resign. That she can even have, in fact, I said to somebody who has said she can go what we call a negotiated resignation. And my argument was that I have never seen any of them tell a man, when it was Domelevo, these same people did not tell Domelevo just resign. No, everybody, if including me, we cheered that she should fight the case. So how then do you now say that because she's a woman, she shouldn't fight, she should resign? You see, it is that aspect that by those suggestions that she should resign that I was against. I'm saying no, don't tell her to resign because she should fight it. And as my brother said, we need precedents. We need these issues to go to their logical conclusion so that these processes will become clear and obvious to all of us. And so, yes. And so the idea that blah, blah, Shalotose, blah, blah, Shalotose, blah, blah, she should go, it didn't hold. Shalotose has gone, and it is in history now. As I said, we want to make sure that all these processes are there, the legal precedents are there, the jurisprudence is expanded and is made better for all of us. As for the petitions she's seeking, again, as I said, I am happy that she's come out. Unfortunately, these rulings will not be in camera, right? We'll have the rulings, we'll read them. And any future, one day, imagine Madam is appointed as a Chief Justice by John Dramani Mahama, and somebody comes and you don't want it. It's a big post. So I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer. She hasn't served as a judge.
Okay. So the point I'm trying to make is that, and now if you are made a Chief Justice and they are coming to remove you, I'm sure one of the first things you and your lawyers will do is to look for these cases. That's the first thing you would do. By the way, let's go look for the Justice Tokonu cases. I'm sure your lawyers will sit down and read them as they are preparing your defense. And that is good. Just as we said, if today you are an Auditor General and you are being removed, one of the first things your lawyers will do is to look for these cases. And that is what I'm talking about. Adding that adds to knowledge, that adds to experience, that's research to help us navigate it. So look, I'm happy that she's going to court again, as I said, and I hope that this case stays there, this goes fine. Look, political parties like instant gratification. Political parties and politicians like praise, but they don't like the credit. They don't like the criticism. They like So again, as I said, the NDC is trying to play this case in a very nice, smart, and intelligent way. This is nothing to see here. It's just a legal process, constitutional process, and it ends. Nothing.
But is it not?
So that they don't get any political blowback. That is what they are trying to do, and that's the case they are making. Very smart case. The MPP is trying to make a similar case. No, there's everything to see here. It's a political process. Come, you said there's a legal process, yes, but it's a legal process intermittently interwoven with political processes. He made that point. The decision by Akufo-Addo to release the decision was a political process. It wasn't a legal process. Legally, he wasn't mandated to do that. But he did that in the name of transparency and accountability. He said, this is my decision, or this is the decision they made. The making of that decision was what? In camera. But the release of that decision, I have the prerogative to do that. The NDC has done a similar thing. They've done a similar thing. They have decided to release the voting pattern in the conclave, in the Council of State. The National Communications Officer of the NDC sat on media to tell us that the voting in was 30 to 1, that there was a prima facie case. So they released actually the inner happenings of what happened there. But they didn't release the reason, the decision of the Council of State. That is politics too, I will agree. So that, you see, I can see the two parties playing politics there. So that's what I'm saying. It is interlaced, intertwined with politics. One president says that, look, I won't tell you how the vote happened inside the Council of State, but I will tell you their reason. Here it is. Here they're also saying that, well, we won't give you their reason that you can read and study, but we'll tell you how the vote happened inside there. That is politics.
Very well. Nanaya, some have raised eyebrows regarding her legal representation in the person of Godfred Dame, former Attorney General. Same person represented Vincent Asafua in a similar case and lost.
But please, what do you expect? Who do you expect to represent it? I mean, for everything that is going on, I mean, he will be the one to represent it. Or the MPP lawyers are the people who are going to represent it. So I don't think that is the story. I don't think that is very surprising. If I saw somebody else representing her, I would have been surprised. So I think that is what it is. But my brother said something, and Elvis is my brother, even though he abandoned me.
Oh, not on TV.
So the point,
this one, you are shaming on TV.
Yes, even though he abandoned me, that's my brother. You see,
Elvis, you have to go and make amends.
Exactly. This one is a big one.
I won't even.
You have to lead me to go and beg.
I won't give him the opportunity.
Oh, Nana, please.
We'll come and beg.
So the point is that Elvis, this one I don't agree with you. I mean, you keep referring to a coup d'etat. The days of coup d'etats are gone.
They're gone.
They are gone. They went with Jerry Rawlings stopped it. Do you get me? Yeah. And as we were young, growing up, we heard rumors of coups, but it was all foiled. Yeah. If there was no coup d'etat during MPP's 8 years, there will be no coup d'etat today. Obviously, I want to make that clear to you.
Africa for 40 years.
No, but Fufuabani is different.
After that, something has happened. I'm not saying there will be a coup. I'm saying that the politicians should be careful.
You don't even mention it because it is not going to happen. We have gone past that. Ghanaians
you should be so convinced that it won't happen.
Because if it didn't happen in 2017 to 2024, it won't happen now. But what we went through in those days, those 8 years, was very horrific. Ghanaians, we lost money, we lost lives. I mean, everything was just anyhow. But there was no coup d'etat. Right. Because you have come to accept that no matter what, our coup d'etat is always in the ballot. Right. And so that is what happened in 2024, 7 December. Yeah. We went out to vote to get out the oppressor. You get me? The oppressor being MPP. So I do not think Ghanaians, if you go on the streets, maybe Elvis is not on the streets. He is very comfortable in News Center in his air condition. But if you go to the streets of Accra, go to the grassroots, the people believe that no matter what it is, the 8 years will come. And they are not interested in ever, curtailing the term of a government.
Hey, Nana, you didn't see the independence, the Mahama inauguration when the Burkina Faso guy came. Did you see the youth and their response?
No, but the response doesn't mean that.
There's a recent survey that has suggested same.
I just pointed to that.
Yeah,
that
a recent survey
if you look at the response,
that about 60%.
I am against schools, and I will never.
You see,
look, I'm against schools. I will never support it. I will never encourage it. But I'm saying that politicians should be mindful because they are creating a certain environment.
Let me finish. Right, I'm saying that if there was no coup 2017 till today, I don't think there will be any coup. Coups are not done by the masses. It is done by a particular group of people. Do you get me? Yeah. So whatever survey that there is, these are the minds of people. But people don't do coups. Do you understand? We are so relieved that the MPP is gone that we wouldn't think of another tyranny. We are not going to think of another tyranny. Because you see, you should have lost your money in an investment. The safest instrument, financial instrument, the bonds, people put their money into it and the monies were lost. So I'm saying, don't think about coups because we believe in the democracy that we have. Right. We believe in the processes of the democracy. But you see, I do not know why the MPP shake when we mention Charlotte Osei and immediately they say it's politics. You said precedence. There's always a referral to what happened before. When you go to the hospital, the doctor will ask you, yesterday, do you have a headache? How are you feeling? Is there a history in your family? It's still precedence. So if you talk about Charlotte, it's not because it is politics. It happened. Was Charlotte a politician?
No.
Have we used any politician as an example? Most politicians lost their jobs automatically. Boards were collapsed automatically. Some of them were even collapsed. When Nanadu came in 2017, did he retain the Bank of Ghana board? Did they stay until? No.
No, they stay until their term of office.
I think now it's
law.
So now it's law.
Yes.
That's one. But there are other boards which are independent boards which they have never been sacked. He sacked them.
Like which ones?
Oh, please.
Hold on. Now, sorry to cut you. I'll come back to you, but I need to take a quick break here.
Okay.
I'll come back to you.
And come back to me.
Yes, I'll come back to you so you can wrap up your thoughts on this matter. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 Television. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Considering oral surgery? Hi, I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. Whether you need a routine extraction or a complex dental implant procedure, you want a dental team that provides compassionate care with superior outcomes. A thorough diagnosis is the first step, which involves dental x-rays to assess your condition. This ensures that you're fully informed and comfortable with the plan you choose. Understanding what to expect during the recovery period is also important. By following these steps, you'll be well prepared to recover smoothly and avoid complications. Learn more about surgical services and schedule your consultation today. Bethel Dental Clinic, the smile starts here.
Healthy smile. Rise and shine, it's another day to stay on point. Toast is Friday, it's still on point. Watch is Friday all day long. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Watch is Friday, it's still on point. For your bread, it's creamy. For your toast, it's still on point. It's yummy, delicious. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. Still on point, yes, it's still on point. It's still on point. For your toast, it's still on point. It's still on point. Fortune spread, it's yummy, delicious. It's still on point.
Fortune spread, delicious, creamy, and always on point. This advert is FDA approved.
Yo fam, it's that time again. Finals. Oh yeah. Go TV. Let's go. Final. Go TV. This is too big. The Premier League, La Liga, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa, and more. Finals. Stay connected to catch all the biggest football finals with your best football friend. Go TV, love it.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes, so what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Breakfast Daily here on Channel 1 TV. We're having a conversation regarding the suspended CJ and that suit she has filed in court. Nana, you had the floor before the break, so I'll come back to you on it.
That we use Charlotte as a precedent. Because if you are talking about precedent, Charlotte is used as a precedent because something what happened. And Charlotte is not a politician.
Right.
Do you get me? So if you say that we are politicizing it because we are mentioning Charlotte, then the argument is flawed. Because Charlotte, I mean, at the EC is independent.
Yeah.
The EC is not a politician, even though we even advocated at IEA that the EC should be appointed by the PSC. Goes through the process of a competitive interview. Maybe 3 or 4 people are chosen, appointed by the PSC, then goes to Parliament for vetting. Then Parliament then passes the EC. So then we take government out of it. These were some of the arguments that have been espoused over time. So the EC, immediately the EC is up. The EC is not a politician. So when we mention Charlotte, why do you say we are politicizing it? Because there are other politicians who also went through some processes. But we don't mention those as an example because they are politicians. But Charlotte was not a politician. So then why do you say that if we mention Charlotte, it means we are politicizing the process? We are referring to something that happened. And whether it was good or bad, as Elvis is saying, maybe I should try and take the Charlotte case to court to test the law.
Perhaps.
Whether the process that they used to remove her was good or bad. Did you get me? So that is the reason also. I am a bit, the petition that came in Nana Akufo-Addo's time. Did it go through the process, or Nana Akufo-Addo said he found no merit in it?
He referenced to the Council.
He references to the Council of State. But why are you putting the two presidents together? That this one didn't do, that one, are they the same?
Yeah, but then the petition is the same.
I am saying that are they the same people?
They are two presidents.
That is what I'm saying. So you don't say that Nanado didn't do it. When Nanado
No, Nanado passive case is supposed to be a legal determination.
Exactly.
So as to what one legal determination is different for another, that is the issue.
If we see both about the
president,
have you never seen a situation where one judge imprisons somebody? The case goes on an appeal. The person is released. Have you never seen that before?
Based on the facts.
Yeah, based on the same facts.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying that if Nanado published the decision to Premier, if President Mahmoud also published it, it helps the public.
No, but that is that is a different argument. You are saying that two different people, two different results.
Yes.
Do you get me?
Yes.
That one, if you say she should publish whatever process has gone on for you to establish a prima facie, that's a different thing.
That's what we're actually saying.
No, but if you say that two different, why is it that Nanado it went to the Council of State and they came out with a different result, and now John Mahama's, to His Excellency Mahama's time, it has come up with a different result? It is neither here nor there. That one you can't. Yeah, I think so, because there are two different situations. There are two different. The people in the Council of State at the time are different. The people in the Council of State now are different. The context is different. Do you get me? The context is different.
But the petition remains same.
The petition remains same. It's constant.
Yeah.
Because if you go for an appeal, or there are times that even in the High Court, a judge is changed and the verdict is different. You can ask that this judge, I don't want this judge, change the judge. You make that appeal, a new judge, sometimes the verdict is different. So I don't see why anybody should blame His Excellency. They are two different people, two different contexts. The timings are different. If you say that they should publish it, why they got to that, the prima, that one is another matter to discuss. But for you to say that the same petition, two different people, they cannot be the same. The governments are not the same. The context is not the same.
And that's why it's important that it's published,
you see
so that you can understand.
If you say that, that is a different thing. But to say that, oh, why Nanado did not do anything about it, he said he couldn't establish. Why have you established? It's different. And look at the time that one came. Maybe Nanado thought that am I going to start a process, looking through everything? Maybe the next government should come and continue with it. Do you get it? Whatever it is, I am saying that you can't compare the two. Once economy is getting on well, the other economy collapsed. The one running one economy, the economy collapsed to nothing. One is running an economy that is picking up very steadily and very well. So there are two different contexts. So you cannot put the two together and say, oh, Nanado didn't do anything. And this, no, there are two different contexts.
Thank you. Elvis.
I think Nanaya is misreading what the issue is. It, when the judge issues a verdict, the reasons it's made public. The judge cannot issue that this person has been convicted, I'm freeing the person, and not giving reason why he's freeing the person. That is the point. That's what I said at the end of the submission. I said that is why it will be important that the call by the GBA on President Mahama to publish how they also establish will be important, so that the public will read both and then begin to determine which one they agree with.
Elvis, Doc says something. You see, Doc, I shouldn't mention his name.
No,
go ahead. He said that. He said that he's surprised. You even mentioned that the same petition has received different reactions.
Yes, that is. I said that.
Let me finish.
Yes.
Has received different reactions. Yes. One said, I could not establish a prima facie case.
And told us why.
Yes. Another said, I have established a prima facie case.
But did not tell us why.
It's different. If he didn't tell you why, it is different from you saying that why is it that the same petition, two people have gotten.
So that's not what I'm saying.
You get it?
No, you are conflicted with it.
It's important. That's why I should understand it's important. We are dealing with the same petition. So if we say the process is that petition gives to the president.
Are you questioning the process or the person involved?
No, I'm talking about the end outcome. And how we are having two different outcomes to the same process.
But it is the process.
I'm saying that the same process, two different results. And now the public.
So you are taking out the president.
The public is only in the known of the results of one. But the public does not have the benefit of knowing the results of the other. So it creates confusion in the mind of the people.
This one makes sense. But if you say that two presidents,
this is actually.
Are you sure this is the point? What is not the point that you are making? You said that why is it that two presidents different?
Elvis is making it clear.
To clear that confusion from the mind of the people, if the current president also publishes
that is a different matter.
Then the public now can read both. And I said that even from that, somebody can even trigger a legal process and says that I think maybe even there is something that has to
be done. You are forcing now that the process will not go on.
You understand? So for me,
MPPs, for you are rather politicizing.
And I made the issue that when you mentioned, I didn't say that Charlotte Osei is a politician. What I'm saying is that during that time, the NDC also made it a political issue. And today the CJ is also not a politician. And I made a political issue. And I'm saying that when politicians make things like this, which is supposed to be a legal process, but then they make it political issue. For me, I'm uncomfortable because it creates confusion in the minds of the people. So I've never said that Charlotte Osei is a politician. But I said that at the time when the things were happening to the NDC made political mole out of it. Just as MPP is making about what is happening to the CJ. So talking.
Nobody has heard that.
A lot. Now I tell you, I'm not saying that. I have seen people post about that. I have seen people post about that.
What I am saying is that
I've also heard it.
Why won't you hear it? You see, what I'm saying is that during Charlotte's time, when she was going through the process, there was no demonstration by NDC. Because at that time, NDC people were going to be in a Yoko where you won't have time. Because these people, they are free, so they are able to go and do demonstration. They should.
Demonstration is just one.
No, I'm coming.
But it's my time.
I am coming. No. I just want to find out. No, please. I just want to find out one demonstration that NDC embarked on because of Charlotte.
No, I didn't say demonstration.
No, but that is the clear indication that
they made statement. They said that
MPP went on demonstration
because he was appointed by Mahama. But I see, even the lesson there was that Charlotte was appointed by Mahama, and Mahama lost the election.
Exactly.
Jean Mensa was appointed by Akufo-Addo. Akufo-Addo has lost an election.
Akufo-Addo hasn't lost an election.
No, MPP has lost an election. MPP has lost an election. The person that appointed her has
lost an election.
Do you understand? So, bottom line is, this figments the minds of people's imagination that whoever appoints electoral commission may have some advantage. The reality has proven that it's a false imagination. Because if that's the case, Mahama should have lost an election. If that's the case, NPP should have lost an election. So whoever appoints EC chair has no merit. NDC appointed Afarijan. The president appointed Afarijan. NDC lost election under Afarijan. So the verdict is clear that irrespective of who appoints a EC chair, if the Ghanaian people decide that they are changing you, they are changing you. It doesn't matter who the chair is. So this figment of politicization of thinking that EC chair is there, it's neither here nor there.
Right. We spent more than enough time on this matter. We need to move on to a second issue.
Yeah, we're almost done.
The decongestion exercise in Accra. The AMSS is rolling out some Operation Red Line where it is marking some areas where traders cannot go beyond. Doc, let me start with you. This approach of mayors embarking on decongestion exercises when they are appointed. Your thoughts?
Actually, I'm cheering for the mayor to succeed. I'm cheering for the AMA for this things to go through. And I'm also asking the mayor of Madina, and what are you waiting for? The MC, Emil. The mayor of Malamata, the mayor of Kaneshi, all these mayors in Accra. What are you waiting for? You have the invitation. You've got the clarion call to come and do it. So come out. I don't know what you're waiting for. But you see, I've also said it, and I'm going to say it again. This boga macho process is not sustainable. Not only is it not sustainable, it's not viable. How much is involved in decongestion cities? Do you know?
No.
How many people do we need? Do you know? What are the short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals? Do you know? Why should we leave the congestion or decongestion of the city to the whims and caprices of an individual mayor? And I ask this question again. What if tomorrow this mayor is fired? What if tomorrow this mayor, through any natural act, is not able to perform his duties? Where do we start from? We need a very comprehensive policy on this. A policy that will tell us that these are the policy objectives, these are the aims, this is the method to use. A policy that will tell us this is the cost involved. A policy that will tell us, but the way it is going is like each MC, the MCE, or each mayor, then decides what to do. And the whole thing now revolves around a particular person. The personalization of these things is what I am against.
Right.
Because when you personalize it, that is where political calculations, political innuendo sometimes come in to what? To defeat the process. Because the mayor is a political being. I've asked this question too yesterday. Where is the stakeholder engagement and consultation? Where is the stakeholder involvement?
He actually did some engagements with the traders last week.
Yes, but that's the point. The traders have leaders. I wanted to see him meet with the leadership of the trader associations, the Queen Mothers. I wanted to see him meet the Queen Mothers of the Gas State, the kings and rulers of the Gas State. If possible, and even because you wanted to sustain and because you want to make sure that you want to inoculate yourself from political accusation, I would have expected that he would have extended a hand to even his political peers to say, look, we all live here and we all like a decongested city. Come together. If it is just a photo op, open a hand to them. And let's see, because see, the traders are playing a long-term game. The traders have patience. The traders are gaming the system. They will stay there. They will stay. They will stay. The question is, do politicians have the stomach and the courage and the political calculus to stay the long game? They may not have. The traders are not going somewhere. And as I said, if you are decongested Makola, if you are decongested Accra Central, these traders, especially those on the streets, are very mobile. They can just move to another market. They can just go take another street. That's what I'm saying. We need a very holistic. And we need a policy that is an all of the above approach. Sure. Okay, so we need that. And we also need that political support. I really want to see the presidency or the minister of the local government issue very strong statements telling them, look, any mayor who does this in a humane way, in a nice way, and stays to it, make sure that we have your back, because they need that. They are also political creatures, you understand that. And they are not going to do anything that will jeopardize their work. So they need the political backing. I hope that this is not a 9-day wonder. I hope that this thing just end with just one mayor. But so far, nothing shows me that it is not a 9-day wonder. Everything shows me that it's going to end spectacularly bad like it did the last times.
Very well. Anaya, let me come to you on this issue of decongestion.
Decongestion is very good. We need to do it because when the rains have started, and if you don't decongest the pathways, the gutters, you will find all these floods. But I want to believe that there are bylaws in the assemblies. And why are we not using the bylaws? Why are we not enforcing our bylaws? Because for instance, when you go to Mauritius, you can't litter around. Even if you are chewing gum, you hold it out till you find a bin. Nobody is talking to you, nobody. The silent arm of the law works. So why are we not using our bylaws? Because see, you decongest and people will throw garbage in these gutters. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, in front of your house, there's a load of garbage because somebody in the area has noticed that you are always getting Zoom Lion to carry your garbage away. So they leave it there for you to add on. It's so common. So I believe that even the filth in town, let's not talk about only decongestion. It should not be a 9-day wonder.
Right.
Let's not talk about only decongestion, the filth. The filth in our cities, the filth in our towns. We need to deal with them. The rubbers that are scattered all over the place. There is a term for it, I forgot it, but we should put a certain percentage on the plastic making, the companies that produce rubbers and plastics. So we can use it to clear some of these rubbers and plastics.
We already have that tax.
Is it there's not a, you have the tax?
Right, manufacturers, yeah.
So what is happening to that money? Do you get me? I mean, this one, we should use it to really clean our cities. And for me, the bylaws. If you are caught doing A, B, C, D, you will be punished. The same way they do with the abaye in town. They follow these poor women who are carrying their wares and they'll collect money from them, carry their wares and put it in the back of a truck and go and put it at the AMA office. But if we have to enforce our bylaws, we don't. It is key that we sit down and see the bylaws that we have, the ones that are outmoded, we modify it to ensure that, because you see, if we don't enforce our bylaws, no matter what we do, presidents after presidents, government after government have done decongestion. I remember when Mikote did it, the one before him did it. Everybody, regional ministers, everybody that, but it does not work. We should sit down and find out why is it not being sustained. Should we put up a strong political will to ensure that it is sustained? This one, it is not NDC, MPP, CPP. It is about the nation Ghana. I remember when Accra was decongested. I go to Accra to do my marketing. And I went to Accra and it was so easy to drive through.
Right.
When I parked my car at the ECG, went to the Kwasi Ejuaso market, I did my shopping, put my foodstuffs in my car, and 10 minutes, I was out of Accra. But when the women are around, throwing all the garbage, selling the second-hand clothing, selling all manner of things, you can't even pass. And even it is not even safe. Because if you are not careful, you'll be hit by a car.
Right.
So I believe that it is a good idea, but we should have a certain systematic way of doing it. We should not stick to the status quo where you just decongest, in no time they are back. Right. And I believe that we should also provide markets for them. Markets, and when we provide, yes, markets have been provided. They don't go there because they will tell you that the people don't come and buy. So we should have a marketing plan, branding, You brand those markets that you have given to them so they can go there and we'll go and buy from them.
Right. Very well.
Yes.
Elvis, I was going to come to you on these exercises we've seen over the period and the fact that we do it, we don't provide alternatives, and before you know it, they are back to the same places. So going forward, I mean, this is a new mayor. He has also started. Good riddance, but what are the alternatives?
Can never work because we play politics above national interests. That's why it never works. I saw Samen's interview, E.T. Mensah, about the time he was mayor of Accra, and the kind of things he said. And then you look at from E.T. Mensah's time, you look at Amate Few, and all the people, okay, all that they have attempted to do, Okubanda Poise and all the rest. See, the issue is simple. See, I've said it in this, and I've said it over, I will say it ever again. See, in Ghana, we pride ourselves in democracy. Democracy is the rule of law. But Ghanaians see democracy as not applying the law. Because the moment you don't apply the law and firm, you are a wicked leader. You must be voted out. You don't deserve to be there. You don't want the progress of the people. This is how the ordinary Ghanaian see authorities enforcing the law. And so long as we continue to see authorities enforcing the law in this matter, we can never, ever make any meaningful progress that we think we desire. People always call Ghana had independence with Singapore, Malaysia. We always pride ourselves in that. And we say, look at these Asian tigers where they are today. I always tell people that we only make those statements. But if you carefully listen or read from Third World to First World by Lee Kuan Yew, okay? If you read it or you listen to short videos of statements he's made at lectures as to how they were able to achieve that, Ghanaians are not ready for that. Because the man openly tells you that the country was under a dictatorship. Where people how people even worship, the state decided it for them. Because the state realized that without strong state intervention, there's no way they would have been where they are today. They virtually put the people under strict laws. And irrespective of who is found guilty, the law is applied. And people went to a lot of pain. People hated him. But then when they see the product, the outcome of that, they praise him. So you see, when we see those countries and we desire to be like that, the question is, are the people of Ghana ready to go through that kind of pain? The answer is no. I told you about Rwanda. There are poorer people in Rwanda than Ghana. But you cannot use an excuse for a reason why you are selling on the street or on the pavement. The state will not permit you. But here, when you are doing decongestion, I the human face. People will cry. That is what I'm using to take care of my children. Without this, how will I eat? And then we turn it to an emotional blackmail of the government. And then because the government is afraid to lose votes, the government will retreat. Look, anybody who is 30, 40 years old, who has seen decongestion of Accra from the Rawlings era in the 90s, let me say from 2000 up to now, you admit that Accra was less congested in 2000 than today. It was less congested in 2010 than today. It was less congested in 2012 than today. So it means that the problem just keep compounding and we are pretending to fix it because we are not willing to say whether you have economic problem or not is not the reason why you become impediment for the whole nation. But in this country, that's what we are not able to do. And that is why both NDC and NPP, none of them can achieve anything meaningful in terms of decongestion. Because bottom line is, the party is thinking about the next elections. Hey, the people are complaining. These people are going to vote against us. So then, why do you have to go and do this simply? We want power. Why do we want to do it? Because we think we want to fix the nation and then lose the election. If you lose the election, will you be empowered to be fixing the country? That's what the politicians will ask themselves. And they say, oh, you leave them. So you see, we are not ready to decongest. We are not ready to develop. In fact, in all aspects of our lives, we are not ready for this country to make the progress that the Asian tigers have made. Because see, when you read about the Asian tigers, they took between 30 to 40 years to transform their countries from third world to first world. We have been to a democracy in 1993. Our fourth republic democracy is 33 years old. If we were doing the right things, we should be getting closer to Singapore and Malaysia by now in terms of development. But ask yourself whether we are even 5% close to what they have done. It clearly tells you that we will only praise them because we desire to be like them. But what we need to do to get there, the difficult decisions, nobody, including the ordinary Ghanaian who has been attacking the politician, the ordinary Ghanaian who attack the politician, they are not doing it. The ordinary Ghanaian is not even ready for Ghana to make it like Singapore or Malaysia because the strict application of the rules, we don't want it. And if we don't want that, then we should forget about this dream of Ghana making any meaningful progress. Because the bottom line is, they go hand in hand. Strict application of the law and making sure that everybody does the right thing. And if you fail to do it, the law will deal with you drastically. It's the only way that a country makes a progress. Any country where you relax because the citizens don't want you to do the right thing, they will only be insulting the politicians. So all of us who have been insulting politicians, we should accept that we are also part of the problem. In fact, we are the biggest problem. In fact, if all Ghanaians team up, let me tell you, if NDC and NPP people in one constituency put together, come together and go on a demonstration about a particular problem, the politicians will run to fix it. Because they know that Ghanaians are united. But then when they say do this, my party is in power. If I do it, they will lose the election.
Leave it here, but thank you so much, Elvis Dako, Nanaya Jantua, and Dr. Joshua Jebuntie Zato. I am Nanatu for Boateng. This is Breakfast Daily. Stay with us. We have a lot more coming your way.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
So much love in the air. What are we looking at?
Thank you guys for joining us on this unforgettable night.
Paw Patrol is on.
It's Max Verstappen in the lead.
The megastar is here.
Absolutely sensational.
Let's go!
Just taking a trip down memory lane.
Get unbelievable entertainment that is unbelievably easy to own. Get and stay connected to DSTV.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees emergency. Mommy, chop money emergency. Emergency. Catch it. I'm your rent emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town.
More money, challenge and enjoyment. At the top life we got.
Dial star 770 hash for all your money emergencies and chop life.
Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and get easy and quick access to your money, loans, and other banking needs. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
How many animals did Moses take on the ark?
2, the dove and the raven. The raven first and the dove.
Take my hand, gracious God, lead me home.
What does it mean when someone says, I've developed cold feet?
Cold feet normally happen when the clouds are forming for rain and colds get into the throat for water to be given to the person on emergency. So when you have a cold feet, you are obliged to keep quiet.
Don't talk. Anytime, see, you are hearing this first on Channel 1 TV. Of course, can't get see Vox Pop Central. You know, Mercedes-Benz is telling us that if you have developed cold feet, make sure you don't talk. Keep quiet.
This week, a letter opens a heart and a door to difficult truths.
There's a man in my life, someone I care about deeply. To the outside world, we may just be friends, but to me, he's so much more. But here's the painful truth. He's in love with someone else, my childhood best friend. And that's where it hurts. She doesn't feel the same way about him. She's never truly seen him, not the way I do. But still, his heart leans towards her, and I'm left in the shadows. Should I tell him the truth or quietly protect my heart from further pain? Please help me.
At the end of the day, it will end in gargantuan tears. My take is that you are being a witch. But because you haven't done it yet, I won't call you a witch.
I don't think it's love. I think it's just the
Lust.
idea of it.
Yeah.
The idea of how beautiful they look together. And how beautiful whatever they have going on is.
Ask yourself, is this thing I'm doing good? I mean, where would it lead to? Even if it was not her friend and it was an ordinary guy, the way she's going about this, she's going to really hurt herself.
Join Chris Carter and his sisters this Friday at 9 p.m. on Channel 1 TV as they dive into a story of silent love, heartbreak, and sisterly support. Sometimes, the hardest truth is the one we carry in silence. Sister, sister. Real stories, real women. Real talk. Sister Sister is proudly sponsored by Gino. Gino truly cares.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once more, you are welcome to Breakfast Daily right here on Channel 1 TV. And as you all know, Nana Tufu actually started the show, but we are about to continue this ride with you till 11 o'clock a.m. And now my name is Chris Carter, and I'm doing this with
Philip Nilate. So you'd want to stay with us from now to 11, like Chris has stated. And as conversational, 0204 447033. You can join us with your thought submissions and comment on what we are going to say today, or the stories we are going to share today with you on this show from our communities, what is trending in the entertainment world, and also maybe sports in world as well. But let's start with this, which is the AgriFair. We keep reminding you that on 20th and 22nd of June 2025 is AgriFair, and you wouldn't want to miss it for anything. We are bringing the farmers closer to you. No middlemen. You buy directly from the farmers. So I'm sure that by now you are planning, you are having your money, and you are preparing yourself, the truck or the pickup vehicle you'll be coming with to get the produce from the farmers directly to your home, and also to learn something from the farmers, because it's very important that at least you try and do some backyard farming, and all that, all the training and all what you need will be at this fair.
Right. And then before we even go into that, we have the City Business Festival. And the City Business Festival is going to be starting from the 1st of June to the 30th of June 2025. And it's definitely going to be on Channel 1 TV and City 97.3 FM. Remember that this is brought to you by APSA, and our sponsors are APSA Bank and MTN. So do well to stay tuned right here on Channel 1 TV and City 97.3 FM, as we'll be rolling out everything that you need to know about business. And as you all know, every week has a theme. So just buckle up, because it's going to be an exciting June filled with business nuggets, and you don't want to miss that.
So the month of June is fully packed with the City Business Festival, and so make sure that you are part of the festival and learn a lot. But what is trending? What is trending? What is trending? Yesterday we were here, the Europa League. We're expecting Spurs and Manchester United to have that clash, and it did. It happened, and Spurs took the day. Out of 17 years without getting any trophy, well, they've been able to secure that yesterday, and it's just an interesting one. So when you go on the trends on X, Spurs is trending. It was a 1-0 win for Spurs, and from some of the tweets we are seeing, you weren't dreaming, it's really happening, and that is what Spurs has tweeted. Also, after 10 years with Spurs, that Son Heung-min has his first trophy with the club, among other tweets that we are getting. And that tweet from Mosala says that greatness recognize greatness. Congratulations, Spurs and Son Heung-min. And it tells you that, well, this is what he wanted for a very long time with the Europa League concerning Spurs and Manchester United.
I actually watched the match.
You did?
Yeah. I actually watched the match. The ambience and, was very exciting. But it was a very big pity for the Man U fans.
Why are you saying that?
I don't know. Because, Man U has always been, winning.
Of course.
Yeah. And then...
But in the last period,
it's not as if I pitied them like I pitied them.
From what we are monitoring with the EPL, Man U hasn't done so well.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's not as if I pitied them that it was that bad, but it was just different to see all Man U fans crying. They were angry. So where I even went to watch the match, if you see how they all entered their car after the game.
But anyway,
yeah.
Yao Mingtan will be coming in later on the show to give us all the updates with what happened with the Europa League and also what is going to happen with the EPL. There's other trends we are having as well?
Yeah, we actually have some basketball trends, and that's between the Knicks. So the New York Knicks are actually on the trends, and they played yesterday against the Indianapolis, and they were beaten actually. So, yeah. So it was just like Man U. That's why they're on the trend.
It's also trending.
Yeah.
A final one in the trends is Agradisi and Empress Gifty. Just an interesting one. Empress Gifty has filed a lawsuit, defamation, asking that some sort of 20 million Ghana cedis be given to her. The court is here to determine whatever has gone into it and all that. Agradisi and Empress Gifty. You know about that story?
Yeah, not clearly, but I just saw her on my TL yesterday, warning Empress Gifty. Yeah. And I was like, what is happening again?
So just interesting one with this, the Twitter or the X space. These are some of the key things trending and all that.
And we have another trend that has been trending since yesterday, not just in Ghana, but like all over Africa on X. And it's Ivory Coast. I don't know what's going on in Ivory Coast, but it seems like there are certain issues happening there. And looking at the tweets, Ivory Coast has done it again. Uganda next on paper. Together we can.
There was an attempted
coup yesterday
in the country, but it was foiled. So it didn't happen. So that's how come it's trending. A lot of people were saying that, well, the president has been overthrown and all that, but no, that's not the issue. It's not. We will say it's fake news.
Right.
Yes, we will say fake news. So whatever is happening in Ivory Coast that we got to hear of, all that is not the correct thing that is trending.
Exactly.
What is trending?
Because actually, when I called people in Ivory Coast, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Everything is fine here.
Yeah.
So what's going on? So it seems like Twitter has another story, and what's happening on the ground is sort of like different.
It was actually also on Facebook trending. People were talking about it. Alassane Ouattara has been overthrown and all that. But that's not it. He's still at post. He's still the president of Ivory Coast, and we're just hoping and praying that nothing of that is going to happen in that country. But let's check out the video of the day. So that is Man United fans. I'm sure that they were actually doing this ahead of the match between themselves and Spurs, but maybe their prayer didn't get to God well, and they ended up losing their match, the Europa League, and Spurs took the day. So that is the video of the day. Man United fans.
I don't think they went, like, they should have gone higher the mountain. Like, that's just the valley. Maybe if they went higher, God would have had that prayer. And
they would have won the match.
No, you know why I'm laughing? Because it's amazing what fans can actually do. What fan clubs can actually do. You mean they went on top of the mountain to pray for Man U in Man U jerseys? Well, we have problems. Okay.
And at the end of the day, Spurs didn't listen to that prayer. I just gave Man U just one goal, and Spurs won the match. Anyway, that's the video of the day. Just an interesting one from the trends and also the video of the day and all of that. But we would have to check out some artists or some music to just cool down as later we're moving into our communities.
Your life story they narrate, treating man like they've seen your code. I know if it's worth the divide, like roaches on your ceiling. I know you get that feeling, bring that in, don't fly, don't fret, you will survive. We all come from somewhere. We all come from somewhere. Life is always in motion. If Adam's tears touch the earth, then I guess you're not the first. We're all from out of town. Oh, you must be dangerous in it. Out of town. What's your agenda? You from out of town. See, generalize me. Oh, they tell me you people are all the same. I beg you, free me. Don't you know that I come from a land where many men, oh, many men wish death upon me. Yeah. I come in peace, I tell ya. Peace, I tell ya. I come in peace, I tell ya. Peace, I tell ya. Why you just a holla when I just did in my matter? It's never that serious. I no go trouble you. I'm telling you. We all come from somewhere. We all come from something. Life is always in motion. If Adam's tears touch the earth, then I guess you're not the first. We're all from out of town. Oh, you must be dangerous in it. Out of town. What's your agenda? You from out of town.